All right, so here we are with shoes 11 and 12 of our 14-week 14 shoe review. So this is a shoe that we don't actually sell in the store, a brand that we don't actually sell in the store anymore. We used to. They made some changes to their distribution, and that just made it slightly impossible to sell their shoes. But this is a shoe from a brand called Newton. And Newton, a number of years ago, made quite a splash about their kind of forefoot lug technology. So the idea being that they had these exposed lugs under the ball of the foot, and that was giving you a cue about your running. So when you were running well, you were landing on the ball of your foot, the lugs were loading properly, and then they were probably providing a bit of a return, but mainly it was about running form and technique, less about the performance side of it. And I used to run in them a lot. I used to enjoy running in them a lot. And they sent me this pair of one of their newer models, which is the Distance 8. And I took it out for a run, and I realized I don't want the lugs anymore. They did help when I started running in them, and when I was just in that process of changing my form and adapting to a more efficient running style. They were quite useful. But now that I'm so used to running, obviously, barefoot, but also in, firmer, wider shoes, I actually found that they created an instability that was starting to cause stress through my calf because my foot was overreacting. I was so used to getting accurate information that they were causing this sort of kind of buffer that gave it inaccurate information. So I actually shaved the lugs off of the shoes, and now they're quite great shoes, and I enjoy running in them. Again, I don't get out in them too often, but every now and then I like running in orange shoes, so I pull these out and take them for a spin. And yeah, without the lugs, they're performing really, really well. And so no harm, no foul. But again, it's a niche brand, and they have their place. And like I said, I think as a training tool, kind of like maybe training wheels, they're pretty useful. But I do think most people would kind of evolve out of them as they adapted their form and technique, and it becomes less and less relevant to actually have the lugs there if you're already running in an efficient way. So it's one of those things that I think it's a great tool, much like the barefoot shoes are a great tool, but it has its limits of effectiveness. And then the other shoe that we've got in this little grouping is from our Kenyan friends, and this is a brand called Enda, and this is their first shoe called the Itan. And this is a great shoe. This is a shoe that I saw online first and immediately identified it as a shoe that I'd probably love. It's 4mm drop. It's a pretty firm midsole. It's got a ton of rubber, a ton of incredibly durable rubber. So this shoe has probably 700 kilometers on it, and there's still a ton of rubber, very hard to even see the wear on it. And it's still a shoe that I run in quite regularly. The upper is held up really nicely. The midsole, for the most part, is still pretty lively. It's obviously not quite as lively as it was, but it's still in great shape. And more importantly, this brand is doing some really interesting things. So they've set up shop in Kenya, and they're trying to create an industry there and develop a product there that is built there as well, to help create an industry that obviously is reflective of Kenyans' sort of standing in the distance running world. So this is the Itan. We've been selling it for probably 2 years now, and we've got their new shoe on the way called the La Petite, which will be a bit more of a daily trainer, a little bit more cushion. It goes to a 6mm drop instead of 4mm drop, but we'll be able to get a review up of that once we get some miles in it. But it looks great as well, and it's on its way. So great shoe, great company to support. We like the fact that they do really good things in Kenya, and they're trying to kind of spread that positive attitude out to the world. So that was, what was that, 11 and 12.